There are a few video game sequels more anticipated this year, or really any year, than Hollow Knight Silksong, the long-awaited follow-up to Team Cherry's masterful 2017 Metroidvania-esque Hollow Knight. With the original being widely lauded for its tight gameplay, tough but fair difficulty, gorgeous art style, and incredible music, expectations are through the roof for Silksong, which has been in active development for the better part of 7 years. So let's dig in and see what Team Cherry has spent all that time cooking up. As I'm Jules, this is FGS, and these are 7 things you need to know about Hollow Knight Silksong. Number 7. It's a much bigger sequel. Even though, just like its predecessor, Silksong is being developed by a core team of just 3 people, the sequel is set to be considerably larger in scale than what came before. Though originally conceived as a mere DLC, the creeping scope prompted Team Cherry to rework it into a standalone full-fat sequel in 2019. While the original Hollow Knight touted around 45 checkpoint benches, Silksong will reportedly rock over 100, while also featuring at least 165 new enemies for players to face off against. In addition to this, Silksong will release with considerably more fleshed out side quests, which players can easily keep track of in an in-game journal. Nothing here suggests that Silksong is going to be a modest sequel, but rather an ambitious scaling up which should keep players glued to their screens for untold dozens of hours, even at the lower end. Number 6. Gameplay changes. Though Silksong will largely retain the 2D side-scrolling gameplay of its predecessor, centered around platforming exploration and tricky Dark Souls-esque combat, the sequel also brings in some welcome revisions. This time we'll take control of Hornet, a supporting character from the first game who will move in a more acrobatic fashion than the series' OG protagonist, the Knight, and allows them to balletically flip over enemies. Meanwhile, the offensive and defensive charms have been replaced with tools, ranging from boomerangs to bombs, and Hornet can also use Silk to apply instant self-heals. Oh, and there's a crafting system that will allow players to build more tools, weapons, and traps to help further their progress. Basically, it sounds like Silksong will be giving players lots of options to express themselves throughout the adventure, yet not in a manner that undermines the beloved core tenets of the original game. Number 5. A sequel years in the making. Silksong is one of the longest gestating video game sequels of the past decade, having been announced to the public way back in February 2019. Though originally set for a 2023 release, it was ultimately delayed indefinitely, and until recently, updates were sporadic enough that some fans even believed Silksong had been quietly cancelled, which, as you can probably gather from the very existence of this video, it thankfully hasn't been. But such is the reality of the game being made by a core team of just 3 people, and whose scope has very clearly ballooned far past its original vision as a modest piece of DLC. While most fans surely expect Silksong to be in their hands by now, absence has really only made the heart grow fonder, evidenced by the global salivation which ensued when the recent Nintendo Switch 2 Direct unveiled a whopping 5 seconds of new gameplay footage. Agonizing though the wait has been, all signs point to Team Cherry spending their time wisely and guaranteeing that said wait will definitely be worth it. Number 4. What's the story, Morning Glory? It's fair to say that Hollow Knight is far more revered for its world building and atmosphere than the particular of its story, which players are largely tasked with piecing together themselves. There's little reason to expect much different from Silksong then, but here is what we do know so far. At the start of the game, Hornet is captured and taken to the mysterious, unfamiliar kingdom of Farloom. Farloom is said to be haunted by Silk and Song, and Hornet is tasked with ascending to the top of the kingdom from the bottom where she begins the game. Only by reaching Farloom's shining citadel will Hornet be able to learn the truth of her kidnapping. Assuming it follows the tenor of the first game, expect a vague storytelling approach which will make players work to piece it together, and you know what? That's totally fine. Number 3. A harmonious reunion. It's never quite a guarantee that the personnel who made a game what it is will be free or willing to return for the sequel, but thankfully Silksong is set to be a glorious family reunion. In addition to the Team Cherry principals all returning to their respective roles, composer Christopher Larkin is also back, providing the musical score. Larkin's heart-swelling orchestral work on the first game feels as much a core part of Hollow Knight's DNA as its visuals and gameplay, and so fans would have been surely disappointed if he didn't return. But Larkin was brought back into the fold early on in Silksong's development, enough so that he even posted 2 songs from the game's score online way back in December 2019, and if there was any doubt, both of the tracks are stone-cold bangers. Larkin's impactful string and piano compositions easily evoke myriad emotions: comfort, sadness, fear, and his work on Silksong is damn near guaranteed to be one of its most praised aspects. Number 2. The mysterious Silksong challenge mode. In addition to the aforementioned new gameplay features, Silksong will also introduce a special challenge mode called Silksong. Team Cherry hasn't confirmed precisely what this mode is, only revealing that it will be unlocked once players beat the main game, and will allow them to test their skills in a unique, challenging experience. But we can make a solid, educated guess that it will be a revised version of the original game's Steel Soul mode. Steel Soul, for those not in the know, was unlocked after beating the main game and introduced Permadeath, meaning that your save file was wiped every time you died. Given that the base experience already offers up a formidable challenge, Steel Soul is clearly strictly for the diehards, and it's a safe bet that Silksong will be very much the same. And number 1, the release date. And finally, a topic which has perplexed the Hollow Knight fanbase for years. When will we be actually playing the bloody thing for ourselves? Though there's understandable skepticism amongst fans about anything related to release dates, the Switch 2 Direct did reiterate that Silksong is on track for a 2025 drop. While it would be hardly a shock if Silksong slid to 2026, there's a lot of the year left, and if Team Cherry are staking out a 2025 date after such a lengthy delay, it'll probably mean that they're totally confident that their game will be ready to bow before year's end. Plus, with the game's Steam metadata recently being updated with a new 2025 copyright, the odds have never been better that we're in the final few months of a world where Silksong isn't playable. Cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross anything you physically can, because it's finally happening. Probably. And there we go, my friends. Those were 7 things you need to know about Hollow Knight Silksong. I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. Hope you're treating yourself well, my friends. And as always, just remind yourself you're a massive legend. You are the bloody best, so you deserve the best, all right? As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.